Hello, this is Anna Maria. Today I'm going to give you a gardening tip about how to make your own soil from scratch. Making your own soil from scratch is surprisingly easy. I worked at a garden center over a summer and they were making their own soil, so that's how I got this idea. And it's really quite easy to do. So all I did was I filled up these 4 containers that I have here with the main ingredients that I'm going to use for the soil mix. I find it's pretty easy that way, putting your ingredients in containers. And these were just containers that I started tomatoes in last year. So I just kind of used what I had. And the first ingredient is called sphagnum peat moss. And you'll see that that's an ingredient in many different soil mixes. And what it is it's composed of the dead material that is created when moss decomposes. So it's just decomposed moss basically. And look how just very, very light and fluffy it is. It's very light and fluffy. And what it does is it helps the soil to retain moisture, and it helps vital plant nutrients from leaking out of the soil. So that's why I put it into the soil. The second ingredient I use is called quar. And what that is it's from the inner part of the coconut, from the inner shell. And that's the material from the coconuts. And what that does is it also helps to retain moisture, but it also, why I'm using it, is I have heavy clay soil here, rocky clay soil that isn't well draining. And this will help break up that clay soil and aerate the clay soil and help the nutrients to get to where they need to be. It definitely loosens the texture of heavy clay, and it will really help my soil to drain a lot better than it would without that. The third one is called permatil. This is what the bag looks like. And what this is it's natural, porous, and inert slate particles. They look like rocks, and everybody tells you to take the rocks out of your soil. That's true, but these little slate particles are made for plants, so that's different. And they can help with aeration of the soil. You can also use things like perlite and vermiculite to help with that. But vermiculite, you have to make sure that, or I would like to make sure that it's asbestos free, because some of them do have asbestos. So just make sure that it's asbestos free, because it's not good to inhale that. These are inert and free of asbestos. So, and also I have a vole problem in my garden. If you don't know what those are, they're just like little, they look kind of like little mice, but they can wreak havoc on plants and ruin them from the roots up. So they'll make these raised tunnel-like structures in your soil, in your lawn, in your garden, and then you'll find your plants dead, and it's because they've been eaten at the roots. So permatil is supposed to help deter voles. I'm not using it in the large concentrations to where it would for sure help, but I am going to use it for aeration, and I'm hoping that it might also help to deter them, because it can help to deter them. So that's what I am using that for. Also, just to let you know, you can use a mask when you are working with any kind of dusts. I'm not doing it because I'm outside, but if you're sensitive to dusts while you're mixing soil, you can use a dust mask. And then the last thing that I use is cow manure. It's just black cow manure. And this is because my soil, I tested it and it doesn't have much nitrogen or phosphorus, and cow manure is a rich, rich source of nitrogen, and it will help give that nutrient to my soil. It also will help break up the heavy clay. It's a type of compost, and any really good compost will help to aerate your soil and break up your heavy soil. Also, if your soil is really, really sandy, which some soils are, it will help to tighten up that soil. So compost is always a great thing. So what I will do is I'm going to add a shovelful of each of these main ingredients to this container here, which it holds about 3 gallons of soil. So I'm going to take my big shovel. Here's my big shovel, and I'm going to put a shovelful of the peat moss, a shovelful of the quar. So that's a good shovel right there. About a shovelful of the permatill, and about a shovelful of this cow manure. You'll see that about fills the container there pretty well. Then what I will do is I will take this smaller shovel and mix it a little bit, and I will add a few other nutrients to it. The next thing I like to add is something called bone meal. Bone meal is steamed animal bones that are ground into a fine powder. So that's what those are. Bone meal is very rich in phosphorus and calcium, and those are very important nutrients to plant health. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my tablespoon here. I'm going to add 2 tablespoons per gallon of soil, so 6 tablespoons total to this mix. Next, I'm going to add this bat guano, and bat guano is basically bat poop, and it is very high in nitrogen and also phosphorus, and you use 2 tablespoons a gallon for that. So I'm going to put 6 tablespoons into this because this is a 3-gallon container. And see how easy that is. And the last thing that I'm going to put in is called green sand. Green sand is wonderful because it's a great source of micronutrients. It comes from the ocean floor. This is material from the ocean floor. And it has a bluish green color. So as you can see that's kind of bluish green. And this I'm also going to use 2 tablespoons per gallon. It's a great source of micronutrients for your garden, and it's going to help your plants grow really, really well. And the last thing I'm going to do is mix this all together with my small shovel. And when you've mixed it really well, you'll have 3 gallons of this good soil. It's what I call super soil. If you keep doing this, over time you're going to get what's called black gold, which is what everybody wants. A really dark, beautiful, well-draining soil that's got everything that you need for your plants to grow. But this soil, what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix it half and half with my soil. So I'm going to take half of my clay soil, and then I'm going to mix it half and half with this really nice soil that I just made. So whenever you're planting into your garden, like flowers and shrubs or vegetables, it's great to mix your soil half and half with whatever your amendments are. If I were using it just to fill this container and put a tomato in it, then I would just use it like it is. But if I'm putting it into my garden of clay soil, then I like to mix it half and half. So this will actually make 6 gallons of soil and go a little further. because I'm going to mix it half and half with my clay soil that I have in my garden. Thank you so much for watching this video about how to make your own soil from scratch. If you like this video, please feel free to give it a like and to comment about any of your experiences making your own soil mixes. And I hope to catch you again on my channel. Thanks again for watching. Again, this is Anna Maria. Bye.